Welcome to episode 4 of History Down the Pub.
Today we're in Woolpit of the story of the Green Children. Look at them two. So, yeah, tonight we are in Woolpit. I've let the other two have a little go talking on camera. It's real time now. But anyway, so yeah, Woolpit, it's a little village in Suffolk, not far from Bury St Edmunds. Lovely little village, and we are here to discuss quite a freaky little story of two green children that appeared here in medieval times. Now, as you can see, the actual sign, if I can get that in, is pretty sick because it does have the two children on it. It's hard to see with the trees. That's the church of Woolpit. So we're going to have a little walk around and then I'm going to tell you all the story about the two green children. In a tiny English village of Woolpit, sometime during the 12th century, villagers reportedly discovered children with green skin. Not metaphorically, not just a bit pale, actually green. And according to medieval chronicles, these children spoke completely unknown language, refused to eat normal food, and came from a strange underground world where the sun never really shone properly. Which sounds less like a medieval history and more like a setup for a very low budget horror film. But weirdly enough, this story is recorded not by one, but two respected medieval historians. So today, we're diving into one of England's strangest legends, the Green Children of Woolpit. Picture medieval England. It's the 1100s. Life expectancy is low. Hygiene is questionable. And the most entertainment anybody ever has is actually to witness two churches having a go at each other. Then one day, villagers working near the Woolpits, just outside Woolpit, Suddenly he is crying. Just a quick side note, Woolpit actually gets its name from actual wolf traps, giant pits dug to catch wolves. So if you're a medieval child wandering around these places back then days, it ain't looking good for you. The villagers investigate and discover two children, a boy and a girl. Both are wearing strange clothes that nobody recognises. Both have completely green skin, and neither of them speaks a word anybody can understand. At this point, medieval villagers have two reactions. One, these are clearly demons. Two, well, that is weird. Now, normally stories like these get dismissed immediately at folklore, except the tale appears in the writings of two medieval historians, William of Newburgh and Ralph of Coggeshall. These two men, no, they weren't random pub storytellers. William of Newburgh especially had a reputation of being fairly sceptical by medieval standards, which admittedly is like being the least superstitious wizard. Still, he reportedly found the story credible enough to record. According to accounts, the two children were taken into a household of a local landowner, usually identified as Sir Richard de Gale, and things then get stranger. The children refused to eat almost anything. Bread? No. Meat? Absolutely not. Vegetables? Also no. Which actually sounds like modern day children, really, doesn't it? But eventually, they came across these raw boiled beans, and apparently they went absolutely feral for them. The children ate nothing but beans for quite a long time, which raises a few questions, like how green do you become if your diet is just raw beans all day? And how bearable was that household afterwards? Eventually though, the children slowly adapted to normal food, and as they did, the green colour faded, which is both reassuring and somehow even creepier. Shortly after the two children were discovered, unfortunately the boy did die. The girl survived. She'd eventually learned English and got embedded into the village life, and eventually she was actually adopted. Now, once they could actually communicate with her, they asked her the most obvious question. Where did the children come from? Where did you come from? Now, the answer was actually quite bizarre, because she said she comes from a land called St. Martin's Land, where it was always permanent twilight. Now, she said that her and her brother were actually herding cattle one day, and they heard the noise of the ring of bells. So they followed this ring of bells, and they come to a cave. They walked into the dark cave and kept following into the darkness. And then before they know it, the light came, and they were here, in Woolpit. There are several theories to this story, and each one of them is strange in its own special way. Theory 1. Yep, I'm going to go there straight away. Aliens. Some people believe that the two children of Woolpit were two green aliens, two ETs arriving in Suffolk for reasons unknown, which would make Woolpit technically England's first recorded UFO hotspot. But the arguments for this theory, well, they're not strong. You know, the supporters point to the strange language, the unusual clothing, the green skin, and the otherworldly description. And of course, this theory falls apart slightly. Remember that the children become completely normal after eating vegetables. That's less advanced alien species and more someone who desperately needs vitamins. But still, it's a fun story. And YouTube, well, they legally require someone to bring aliens in stories like these, don't they? Theory 2. They were Flemish orphans. This is the explanation most historians lean towards. During the 12th century, many Flemish immigrants lived in the east of England. There were also violence and political unrest in the area, so the theory goes that they were two Flemish orphans that just simply got lost. Their language would have sounded completely foreign to the English villagers. Their unusual clothing would look strange, and the green skin, possibly malnutrition. Specifically something called chlorosis, and condition linked to a poor diet and anemia, which is dramatically less exciting than children from the Twilight Dimension or people from outer space. The St. Martin's Land part might also be connected to a nearby Flemish settlement dedicated to St. Martin. So the story could simply be two traumatised foreign children misunderstood by medieval villagers. So, theory 3, folklore and symbolism. Some historians think that this story is never meant to have been taken literally. Medieval stories quite often use symbolism. Green, for example, has a strange association with medieval Europe. Fairies, the supernatural, spirits, nature, and people existing between worlds. The children may have even represented outsiders entering Christian society, especially since the surviving girl was eventually baptised and integrated into village life. What makes the Green Children fascinating isn't its weirdness. Medieval Europe had thousands of strange tales, but this one endured. Why? Probably because it sits between folklore and history. It's just believable enough. There are named chronicles, real location, specific details. No dragons, no giant curses, just two deeply strange children appearing out of nowhere. And honestly, that's much more creepier. Because your brain keeps trying to make sense of it all, and even now, centuries later, people still debate it. Were they sick children? Foreign refugees? Distorted folk memory? Fairies? Or even aliens? Today, Woolpit is a quiet English village. No glowing portals, no mysterious being-obsessed children. Well, at least probably not. But nearly 900 years later, the story of the Green Children still survives, and it is one of Britain's most enduring mysteries. And maybe that's the real reason why we still love stories like this. Not because we expect them to be true, but because a tiny part of us wants them to be, even if they really are alien-obsessed being children. Thank you for watching. If you love history that sounds unreal, but actually really is, please watch next week.
Like and subscribe, it doesn't cost a penny, please. And share. Helps the algorithm. Thank you.
You can find us on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe.
What do you think about the Woolpit children? Do you think they're aliens? Do you think they're just lost medieval children that made one of the greatest stories of medieval history? Let us know in the
Comments.
That's the word I was looking for. Get it done. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.